Facebook, Meta, Instagram, you are the dangerous organization. You are a supporter of genocide. Not just because of what you're doing to me, it's way bigger than me. But from what you're doing to men and women on the ground, in Gaza, tonight, this morning, today, tomorrow, making their lives difficult as they're just trying to document what's going on around them, that you're making the lives of people suffering genocide difficult? How dare you? And that your expectation is of me or anybody else, that I'm supposed to shut up, that I'm supposed to watch and say nothing? Who are you? Who controls you? Who is influencing you? Who do you work for? It's shameful. Shameful. This to me is a stain. Again, not just banning me, that you are making life difficult for those that are actually fighting for human rights.
All right, guys. So first of all, Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope that you are having a wonderful time with your friends and your family. I hope that you're eating a lot of good food. And let us not forget the real reason for the season, which is the birth of Jesus Christ. Okay, and that's what we celebrate on Christmas. Okay, so again, I hope you guys are having a great time with your friends and family. We are still going to talk about some stories today because that is my Christmas present to you guys. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, do we have a story that I find to be extremely fascinating because it is a perfect example of why I say that the pendulum always swings the other way in politics, and how you should be careful what you ask for today, because the same tactics that you use against your enemies can be used against you. Okay, and that is what's happening here to Shaun King, who is a woke activist. Okay, everybody should be familiar with Shaun King, aka Talcum X, aka Thurgood Marshall, aka W.E.B. Du Blanc, aka Martin Luther Cream, aka Hewlett P. Newton, aka Frederick Douglass, aka Mayo Angelou, aka Stevia Wonder, aka Samuel L. Jackson, aka Snow J. Simpson, aka Thurgood Marshmallow, aka Pale Revere, aka the Powder Ranger, aka Richard Dolezal. Okay, you guys get it, right? You guys all know the nicknames for Shaun King, okay? And Shaun King is having a meltdown on the internet over the fact that he got banned on Instagram for posting things that the establishment doesn't agree with, right? That they don't like, okay? And this is in regards to the Israel-Palestine situation, in which Shaun King claims to have, deep connections in Palestine, right? It sounds to me like he may know Hamas, or he may support Hamas in some way, because he claims responsibility for hostages getting released by Hamas, right? Which is a story that we cover. And he ultimately was accused of lying about that by the family. But this is what he claims, okay? And apparently Meta, Facebook, has a problem with Shaun King and his posts on social media. So now they are censoring him, and they are crying foul, right? Shaun King is crying foul over this. So let's listen to what Shaun King has to say, the woke activist, because again, I think that they should have been crying about this a long time ago. But again, they only care about it when it happens to them. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Work at Meta. I have spoken at Meta. I've been an official guest of the company. I've been to headquarters. I am friends with senior staff there who told me earlier this week and last week that things had gotten so bad at Meta that they no longer thought I should ever email them there again. That they were convinced that their emails were being read, that things they said in emails, not just to me, but to others, were being quoted without their knowledge or permission. And so when I heard that, it did spook me. This was last week or week before last, and I posted about this. And I was told, I think it was now about a week ago, I posted about this, that they were going to close my account down, that the decision had already been made, and that they thought it was going to be sometime in the new year, and that the American government had gotten involved, that the Israeli government had gotten involved, that corporations had gotten involved. I posted about all of this, and in part, I think I thought not that it was a bluff, but that they wouldn't actually do it. And the grounds for doing it were preposterous. I've been on Instagram since the month it started. I've been a power user there. I have close friends up and down the company that have always been very supportive of me. But Meta, Facebook, Instagram, I think made a really horrible decision. And their decision, I don't mean their decision in banning me. Their decision was that they would do anything they could to protect Israel at all costs. Because they are saying that they are banning me because I support dangerous organizations. And I'll say to you,
yeah. So you seen that, you heard that. Okay. So Shaun King claims that Instagram is banning him because of his pro-Palestinian views. And their reason for why he got banned is because he supports dangerous organizations, which, you know, to me, I'm not necessarily sure if I agree with Instagram banning Shaun King. In fact, I actually don't, right? I'll just go and say I actually don't agree with it. Even though Shaun King is a serial doxer, he's a race hoaxer, he's a race hustler, I think that people like him are the problem in our society when it comes to racial division, okay? Even though I disagree with his speech and everything that he stands for as an individual, this same line of logic and reasoning that Instagram used to ban Shaun King is the same line of logic and reasoning that they use to ban people on the right, okay? So that's my issue with it. Because, again, you know, we've seen this happen before in the past. People that have been associated with Trump or January 6th, they throw them in that classification of, well, you're associated with a violent and dangerous organization. Therefore, we're going to ban you. We're going to use that as a reason to censor you. Now they're using it against people on the left who want to not necessarily agree with the agenda when it comes to Israel and Palestine, which allegedly is the reason why, right? This is according to Shaun King. Now, Instagram hasn't stated exactly why, I mean, except the violent, organization policy or whatever. But regardless, leftists are now making an argument that Shaun King had his First Amendment right violated, right? Because before they was telling us when right-wingers were complaining about the government trying to influence platforms like Twitter to ban people, they said, no, that's not a First Amendment violation. This is a company making their own decisions, right? Funny how that argument kind of goes out the door when it comes to left-wingers, when they end up facing the consequences of precedents that they set and things that they supported in the past when it was being done to their political enemies. For example, this guy says, quote, Instagram banned Shaun King in a violation of the First Amendment and shameless attempt to silence pro-Palestinian voices and a show of blind support for genocide. But this is the same Shaun King who wrote an article in his North Star with Shaun King, right? His website, where he came out and said that he was for banning Trump and white supremacists across social media, right? So Shaun King, the same guy that's boohoo wanting Instagram ban me. They ban me because they don't like my political speech. Wait, just a couple years ago, you was cheering this stuff on when it was happening to people that you disagree with. You were cheering it on. You were fine with it. You didn't have an issue with it. Nobody was screaming about, oh, this is a violation of my First Amendment rights. They're trying to take away my free speech. No, you were making the argument that you can be pro-free speech and pro-censorship of your political enemies at the same time. That's the argument you were making. So even though in principle I disagree with Shaun King being banned, I can't say I feel that bad about it because this is what he asked for. This is what he wanted. You wanted to have an environment where you have these social media platforms that are empowered to ban people over political speech that they disagree with. And then lo and behold, the pendulum swung the other way. Now it's being used on him, and all of a sudden, oh, it's a problem. It's a big problem. In fact, it's such a big problem that you now have a ton of people that are speaking out about this and claiming that, hey, we're being censored or threatened with censorship for pro-Palestinian views that these social media platforms don't like. And now they want to boo-hoo on and complain about it. But again, where was all this when they were banning Trump? When they were taking off regular, normal, everyday people off of these platforms simply over their political opinion? What was these people? Where were these people at? They were silence. It was crickets, right? Some of them, like, again, Shaun King, were cheering it on, right? So let's read here. Shaun King has been banned from Instagram by Meta because of his pro-Palestinian views, and the issue of freedom of speech is on the menu for Christmas. Activist Shaun King's nearly 6 million followers on Instagram have been eviscerated in one fell swoop after an apparent standoff with the platform. King had been warned numerous times about the content he was posting, largely in support of Palestinian people and defiance of the incessant bombing from Israel. He was unwavering in his stance and told his following that he would likely be banned, but was unwilling to soften his position. The disappearance of the popular and controversial King caused quite a response on the very platform that he was banished from. The game made a lengthy post on IG and said that he had been threatened with banishment too for expressing pro-Palestinian / anti-war views. Quote, and many things I could say about this, but we all know what it really is on these social apps. Shaun King's page has been suspended, and I've been given just as many warnings on my page / post as well, so one can only assume he's next in line. He, in an Instagram post, quote, and while we over in our country are having happy holidays, we know there are a lot of people who are not. I truly pray for this world's healing above all else. We need it. Again, where were these people when they were banning people for having views on Ukraine that didn't agree with the establishment agenda? Where are these people? Again, they didn't seem to care that much. But now, again, that is affecting them, right? Now, all of a sudden, they want people to care. Now, all of a sudden, it's an issue. Oh, these social media platforms are foul. But before, it was like, no, they can just enforce their own rules. They have their own terms of service, and they can enforce their rules as they please, right? Regardless of the fact that we know that the censorship is coming because of the government, that the government is pressuring them to censor people based off political opinion, that you have a lot of politically motivated activists running these social media platforms, that this is not really even about breaking the rules that they have on paper. It's really about enforcing a political agenda, okay? No, we were told it's totally fine. They're a private company. They can do whatever they want. Amazing. Ebro Darden, radio host, echoed a similar sentiment. Quote, not winning the PR war, eh? Scared of truth being shared? Well, this will not quiet anything. Your pages and platforms are not yours. Another reminder, Darden said. No, according to you guys, they are theirs, right? They do belong to the social media platforms, right? And they can do whatever they want. Some people in the comments were not so sympathetic. Quote, he on the soapbox for everything. There is a better way to inform the public about what matters, one individual said, than to post something so vile and sad, especially when you monetizing every cause. Be well, everyone. Yeah, well, he is monetizing death, right? That is something that Shaun King and the race hustling activists do all the time. They monetize death, right? And tragedy. Yeah, so with that being said, you got a bunch of people that are upset about this, and then they're coming out and saying that, oh, well, this happened to us too. You know, Facebook, Instagram has been threatening me because of my political opinions, which I believe, 100% believe, because, again, it's happening to people on the right. But, again, when it was happening to people on the right, when it was happening to Trump supporters, when it was happening to Trump, people like Shaun King cheered it on. So, again, I can't feel too bad for the guy, right? I can disagree with what happened to him in principle, but I don't feel bad for him, right? Couldn't have happened to a better guy. Okay, in fact, I will go as far as to say that he deserved it. Even though I disagree with it, he deserves it. Because this is what he called to happen to other people. He just never thought it'd be used against him because he's a leftist, right? Leftists don't think that it will be used against them because they know that these social media platforms are aligned with them. But not when it comes to this issue of Israel-Palestine, though. Not when it comes to this issue of Israel-Palestine. Now, what the left is saying is that, yeah, if you fall out of line with the agenda, the establishment agenda, then this is what happens. You get the same treatment that you were cheering on when it was happening to your political opponents. Now it's going to be used against you because you fell out of line, just like they fell out of line. Now you're falling out of line. Therefore, the same tactics that you cheered on are now being used against you. And it don't feel good, do it? Right? It's unfair. It hurts to have all the work that you put in just wiped away, right? To have your ability to feed your family, to monetize, wiped away in a split second over political opinion. Don't feel good. But again, he was celebrating when it was happening to people he disagreed with. So again, I can't feel bad for him. He deserves it. I disagree with it in principle, but it is what it is. This is what he asked for, and this is what I tell you guys. Always, the pendulum will swing the other way in politics. The best way to red pill a leftist, a liberal, a Democrat is to give them what they want. Give them what they want. So hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.